Another wiring update. Again, these are all the connectors. They're all loomed up from the car. And so I've got them all, I think, pretty good. And back here, I've got actually an extra loom. This is for future use. I've got, I don't know, some extra wires to the dash and to the doors that I'm not using right now. But essentially, I've got from the doors, this goes up to the front. This goes the other doors into the dash, steering column, and the other doors over there. So I'll continue to work. I just need to clean all this up, and then I'm going to get it all situated down there. Okay, so update. I cleaned it up a bunch, but it's not a problem, but the challenge comes, we've got some circuits that, go from here to here, some that go from here out, some that go to the power strips, some inputs go to outputs, so there's just a lot of back and forth, and so we've got most everything tied up. I've got a few things, like this is just a 12 volt fused source, so if I want to just plug something in, it can be there. I've got a couple other things, like this is the park light, so I've got a dash indicator, but right now I don't have a signal that will give it anything. So basically, if I have a switch or something, then that'll light up the dash for the park lights, or sorry, park brake. A couple other ones. Oh, that was the one I was talking about. There's a 12 volt switched, so again, just something in the future. And then over here, I've got to take this and splice it back into the horn and the park lights. This is for when you walk up, to have the car beep and flash its lights. So got to tap that one back in, and then this one is for the radio, which again don't have yet, but everything else, so I should just be able to plug all these plugs into here and into there and be good. Okay, got, I think, all the loose ends tied up. I've outlined on here kind of where the frame is, so I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes to mount everything. All the cables will actually end up kind of facing up, and yeah, but I think we've got it. We'll mount it and plug everything in and cross our fingers that it works. Okay, so this is the space that we're going to utilize to put all the electrical, the fuse relay boxes, and where we'll wire or put all the wires, all the connections. So I've got a plastic sheet kind of cut out to that general shape, and I'm going to do one more. So one's going to be flat there, the other one's going to be coming up on the wall here, and that's where essentially all these connectors, they'll feed down and connect into there. So here's the sheet that's cut out. I'm going to put in, I think, just an extra one since these are all full, for just kind of for future use, like if we do power windows or AC heater, things like that, which I'm planning on, but probably not right now. So I'm going to have that one actually probably be the most accessible. Get all these mounted. So all the cords and cables are going to essentially go up on that back wall. I'll have some of these other ones mounted on that back wall as well. So that's the plan. Here is the progress on the essentially wiring harness, or essentially the connection box. So around here, I guess I'll show you if I can see it. Maybe I'll just go from on top. So essentially I've got a couple things. I made this board down here, and I've got those fastened to it. And then I also made this board here, and fastened a couple things to that as well. Alright, so I've got it all plugged in. So I probably just still need to kind of tie things out of the way just so it's not flopping around. But essentially I got essentially my plate on the bottom, and those two are bolted in. Got all the connectors connected back up. I've got kind of my bus bars here. Probably can't see it, but way down here, there you go. So down there, this is passive keyless entry. These are actually antennas that I need to kind of run other places in the car, but it's kind of what it looks like. And we'll go ahead and turn it on, and like I said, 10 to 25% that it'll actually work. So I've not really ever tried the start-stop button with passive keyless entry to see if everything turns on. So I test that circuit individually, but not kind of all together. So we'll turn it on and see. My guess is we'll have to do some troubleshooting. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and power it on, and we'll see what needs to be fixed. Okay, well, no smoke is a good thing. Passive keyless entry seems to be working. So I'll take this over here, and we'll see if it locks the car. Come on. Yeah, it seems like it locked. So go forward. So I think that one seems to be working. Again, check. No smoke. Alright, so in theory, I'll go to the other side here. Okay, so in theory, nothing should work yet because I haven't turned on the start-stop button. So if I do this, so I am getting some signals there. So I've got headlights. So do I have brights? Okay, so all the lights. Just turn signal. Let's try the other turn signal. Other turn signal. Try a windshield wiper. So that's going. Again. Yep, so that's intermittent. And that's every slow, fast. Okay, so I think everything's working except for I didn't want it to turn on unless we push the start stop button. So we'll have to see what's going on, but I think that's a good place to be. Okay, so the passive keyless entry, I've got something maybe wired just a little bit wrong, because essentially things are just on all the time, whether I'm in range or out of range. So, but if I think it's something with the switch, so meaning I've got power just kind of going straight past the switch. So essentially I've got power coming, I thought, to the switch so it wouldn't turn anything on until the switch was but somehow it's just going right past it. So I've got something wired wrong right there, and I'll have to figure that out. The only other thing that's not getting power is our, essentially the kind of our auxiliary stuff. So, and that's kind of running down the same wire strand. So, all right, so I pulled it all back out. The only thing I can find so far is that essentially there's two wires coming from this fuse relay box that are supplying 12 volts to here, which really shouldn't happen unless we press the button. So I gotta figure out which wires are not working. Like I said, it's two coming out of this plug, which is coming out of here. My guess is one of the passive keyless entry things is not quite wired right. So we will dig into it and let you know. All right, after a lot of discovery, I had just this other relay in, and this is a horn relay, and basically what it is I don't know if you can tell, but it doesn't have like the standard outputs. So swap that back to a regular one, and I think we're good to go. Somewhat painful, but I guess just something to learn. So we'll plug all this in and see if we're working. Okay, we are going to test and see if we got it. So go ahead and plug this in. Alright, so we're in and like nothing's on. That's good. I'm going to go around the other side, make sure we can't do blinkers, lights, things like that. Okay. So nothing's going on. No brights, no signals. So that's good. Nothing there. Make sure we can't start it. So that's good. Do the nothing there. And try also no horn either. Okay, so essentially all the circuits seem like they're off, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and get the passive keyless entry into range and make sure it works. Alright, let's see. Okay, so that unlocked it. So now we'll go see if we can hit start and see if all the systems work. So before I hit start, I just want to make sure they're still not working here. So yeah, nothing. Okay, so in theory, come on, baby. Moment of truth. Nothing. Alright, so I think I've got everything sorted out. There's still something I'd probably rather change, but we'll maybe deal with that later. So here we are away from the car. Everything's locked. So as I go towards the car, so there's the door locks. This is the only thing that I would probably change is essentially the button. I think it's because I got that board because it's a momentary switch. Default, like when it's off and then you put power to the board and everything, it defaults like the switch closed or essentially on. So that's the only thing I would change, because I think what I want to do is when I come up, I want it to be off, and then I essentially, when I'm ready, then I push it on. So again, when we're within range here, when the key's within range, I can turn it off and on. You can see that has power there, and I've got all the systems working. So, and then when I go out of range, let's see. Nothing happens. Oh, let's try that one more time. Alright, so I forgot, I have this wired such that this signal, I didn't want my whole car to be reliant on this signal with the passive keyless entry signal, just in case I'm in the middle of the road and for whatever reason this battery goes off, or you can even see here the signal just seems to be a little intermittent. See, you see a little red flash every once in a while. So I didn't want the car to all of a sudden pause or stop or something in the middle of driving. So really when this is on, right here, so if that's on, essentially the car will stay on even if this goes out of range. So when this is off, then when we go back, alright, we're going to try this again. The passive keyless entry system had a feature called Smart Lock, which if you're like unloading groceries and such and coming to and from the car frequently, it just leaves it unlocked. So I think that feature was on, which is why it wasn't locking when I was walking away. I got that reprogrammed, and now we're going to see if it works. So we'll walk away. So there, it's locked. Then we'll come to the car, and it's unlocked. And you can see, again, this default's on. I'm going to somehow change that because I don't want it to default on. I want it to default off. But as you can see, this controls all the features of the car. Everything turns off. If I turn it on, everything goes on, including all the features. So then again, in theory, we walk away and this will lock. There we have it. Alright, so I got the everything back in the car, and that's kind of how the panel looks. And again, all the cables are coming down right to that panel. I'll kind of show you from the other side. So again, all the cables from the car are coming from here, and they run down to those two fuse relay panels. And yeah, not the cleanest, but it'll all be tucked out of the way, so I think I'm pretty okay with how things are. I'm now gonna plug things in just one last time to make sure no connections got loose or no pins or anything like that. So here we go. All right. Sad note. Basically, just put everything in the car and nothing works. Literally did nothing. It was all working out here. Put it in the car. Now it's not working. So I think I'll just have to take it out and figure out what's going on. Alright, so the problem is these connectors. So essentially these pins are what alright, so the pins, as you can see, they're coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one's kind of recessed. So the pins are supposed to go in and lock. They are not going in and locking. I mean, sometimes when you go to connect them, they're pushing the pin rather than going into where they need to make connection. So, I just don't know. I'm half tempted to junk all these connectors and get different ones. I may just plug them all in again, just make sure they work, and then decide from there. I guess the long and short of it is, good news is I got all the circuits tested, made some mounting plates for things. Bad news is I'm gonna replace some connectors, so it'll take a little time for those to come in, more money, but I should be able to make it look even cleaner, so that should be good. Should be able to cut things the right length and have it look pretty sharp, so that'll be good. But yeah, really a step back. Update on the this is just an update on the Tesla motor wiring, the electric car wiring. So mostly just looking at plugs, wiring, and getting all the things ready to make the connections. Again, I just still trying to decide if I want to splice this one, because it'd be nice just to plug it in and have it charge batteries and stuff, but eventually I need to splice that one into here, so I need to work on that. But anyway, I'll kind of keep you posted as we make connections. And so I mean, this one's ready to be connected into here, and then just got to figure out where a lot of the wires go. Also got this electrical enclosure, so got to figure out where to mount things in there as well. Okay, well, this week we had instead of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it was kind of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But still enjoying the project. Looking forward to fixing some of these issues and getting more into the Tesla wiring. And that does it for this week. See you next time.